What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into one of the most requested reviews analysis, so stick around, you don't want to miss this. But before we get into that, if you're considering a purchase, don't miss out on this incredible discount available right now. Check the description below and the pinned first comment. Now let's not delay any further and jump right into the details. Let's start by delving into the insights shared by our first reviewer.
This reviewer provides a detailed account of the setup and installation process for this laser printer. Our reviewer found the packaging robust, effectively protecting the device during shipping, although the weight, over 50 pounds, made it challenging to handle alone. The included components were standard: a power cord, USB cable, telephone cable, and a DVD-ROM containing the installation software. Noteworthy was the absence of an Ethernet cable. The included instruction manual, while sufficient for basic installation, lacked the depth our reviewer expected. This client's experience with the touchscreen interface was mixed. While generally intuitive, it lacked the full functionality of the printer's settings, requiring the use of the computer-based setup application for certain configurations. Our reviewer found the touchscreen less responsive than similar models they'd used previously. The setup application itself proved problematic, crashing midway through the initial installation attempt. This necessitated a complete uninstall and reboot before successful installation. The entire process, including configuring the printer for multiple devices, laptops, tablets, and other devices, took considerably longer than expected, approximately 3 to 4 hours. The experience with the printer's accompanying software further complicated the installation. Our reviewer encountered difficulties with the ePrint application, which attempted to connect to a different printer at a separate location. They discovered that bypassing some of the advanced setup options during initial installation simplified the process. After initial installation, our reviewer then proceeded to individually configure scanning to a NAS device, email scanning, USB functionality, and other settings via the printer's web interface. The initial setup of a private IP address caused conflicts with the setup application, making the process substantially more difficult. The reviewer strongly recommended that using the TCP/IP setup process without the included CD is the preferred method for device installation. Despite the difficulties with the setup application, the print quality exceeded our reviewer's expectations, with both black and white and color prints meeting their needs. Print speed was also noted as quite fast. However, the printer's sleep mode, with an automatic shutoff after a relatively short period and a lengthy timer before power restoration, was identified as a potential drawback, especially for users without a network switch that keeps the port active. Compatibility with various operating systems, including several versions of Windows and Mac OS, as well as Android and another system, was confirmed. Ultimately, this client found the web-based configuration interface superior to the included software, noting it as professional, easy to use, and well-suited to managing the printer's features. Although the initial installation was time-consuming and problematic due to the software, once configured, the printer functioned well across all the tested devices. Our reviewer concluded that while the software needs improvement and further testing, the overall print quality and functionality of the printer justify the difficulties of initial setup.
All right, let's find out what our next reviewer has to share.
This reviewer offers a comprehensive assessment of this multifunction printer, expressing overall satisfaction with its performance and capabilities. Our reviewer highlights the device's versatility, noting its ability to print, scan, fax, and copy, all with duplex functionality. The device seamlessly integrates into both wired and wireless network environments, a key feature praised by this client. The printer's operation is described as relatively quiet, a significant advantage for home or office use. Furthermore, This client found the availability of affordable aftermarket ink cartridges to be a considerable plus, though they initially used only the manufacturer's genuine cartridges and were satisfied with their longevity. The associated software, provided by the manufacturer, is noted as being useful for photo printing and desktop scanning, supplementing the functionality already built into common productivity applications. However, our reviewer also points out some drawbacks. The cost of the manufacturer's original cartridges is deemed somewhat expensive, although their longevity is acknowledged. A more significant issue, according to this client, is the limitation of duplex scanning from the printer's console to a computer network folder. While duplex scanning is possible via the accompanying software, the inability to perform this function directly from the printer itself is cited as a potential inconvenience, especially for users whose printer and computer are not located in the same room. The automatic document feeder, ADF, also presented some challenges, occasionally misfeeding multiple pages at once. However, this reviewer acknowledges that this issue is fairly common among such devices. The client further mentions difficulties with certain aspects of the software installation process. While the main printing software installed without incident, other drivers were more problematic. This led our reviewer to utilize a third-party faxing solution, achieving satisfactory results. Finally, the complexities of network configuration are mentioned as a potential hurdle for less tech-savvy users. However, our reviewer acknowledges this is a common issue with wireless multifunction printers. Despite these minor drawbacks, this client concludes that they are very happy with this printer, particularly after properly configuring the software to their liking. The overall impression is overwhelmingly positive, emphasizing the printer's exceptional functionality and value, despite some operational quirks that may require additional user effort or workaround solutions. The reviewer's detailed account is valuable for potential buyers considering this type of multifunction device.
Great! Now let's see what our next reviewer has to say about their experience.
This reviewer recounts their experience replacing two older printers, an aging monochrome printer and a rarely used inkjet, with this product. Our reviewer initially found the product generally satisfactory, noting, however, two significant drawbacks. First, the device's fan remained quite loud for an extended period after use, though this client later discovered a setting to reduce this noise. More critically, the automatic document feeder, ADF, scan resolution was severely limited to a low 300 dpi. This resulted in grainy scans with noticeable imperfections, a detail conspicuously absent from the product's online description. This client discovered this limitation only after extensive searching within the manufacturer's documentation. This was particularly frustrating, as the ADF hardware appeared capable of much higher resolution, suggesting a software or firmware restriction. To address these concerns, and after considerable research, including calls to the manufacturer and a competitor, this client purchased a competing model known for its higher resolution ADF scanning. A series of side-by-side comparisons were then conducted between the two devices, assessing print and scan quality across various media, including photographs, watercolor paintings, and standard documents. The comparison involved color copying, color printing, color scanning using the flatbed scanner, and document scanning via the ADF. In terms of color copying and flatbed scanning, both devices performed comparably well, though neither perfectly captured the lightest watercolor shades. Color printing revealed a significant difference. The competing model, despite offering higher resolution settings, produced noticeably grainier output, especially in solid colors, exhibiting an undesirable textured appearance. This was consistent across various print jobs, even affecting the apparent texture of a solid-colored suit in a photographic print. The product, in contrast, rendered finer details and more accurate colors. The crucial difference, however, was in the ADF scanning. The competing model delivered sharp, clear, high-resolution scans of documents, while the product's output remained grainy and low resolution, as initially observed. This ultimately led this client to return the competing model and retain this product, despite its ADF limitations. The hope remains that a future firmware update will address the product's ADF scan resolution, though this client expresses skepticism given the apparent absence of such an update. That's it for this one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Appreciate you watching. See you next time.